Today we are going to understand the meaning of these two towns. We are going to know the meaning of Wajir and Garissa. Wajir and Garissa. Let me start with Garissa. But before I start, do you know that previously there was a time when provincial headquarters of Northeastern initially used to be in Isiolo. Then when Isiolo was taken to Eastern, Upper Eastern, the first provincial headquarters of a place was called Wajeer. The first headquarters was Wajeer before it was permanently taken to Garissa. Now, what is Garissa? Garissa, you know, in Kenyan languages, a motor vehicle has two names. Most of the Kenyan languages, a motor vehicle has two names. Either you hear it called motoka, kwa Kiluya inaitwa omutuka, or it is called gari. Agikuyu maugaga gari yaku na maguta. Mluya atakwambia omutuka kwanje vevire. So I'll not translate it for you. But you find that Kikuyu is called a vehicle ngari, which comes from the Swahili word gari. Luhya call it omutuka, which comes from the word motoka. So you'll find most, if not all, Kenyan languages, a vehicle is either called motoka, a variation of the word motoka, or gari, which gari is in Kiswahili, motoka comes from the word motoka. Swahili use gari. So you find that that is how we call motor vehicles in Kenyan languages. And one funny thing I find is that all Kenyan towns, most of the Kenyan towns, you'll always find the story, oh, a Mzungu came, and when he wanted to know this, when he was asking about this or that, he asked a question and he was told. He asked a question and he was told. That one I usually hear. I don't know why everything has to have a Mzungu connotation. Like Mombasa. Mombasa originally was called Mvita. And Mvita, people used to fight. And that is how it came to Mvita, pahali pa vita. But then it is alleged that a Mzungu, just like everybody else, everywhere else, a Mzungu came and asked a person, what do you call this place? And the Mijikenda did not wanted he was asked the person, Mwambaaze, wasemaje, what are you saying? So the Mzungu is allegedly to have heard the word Mwambaze. He thought he was saying Mombasa, so he wrote Mombasa. That is how the name Mombasa came in. But originally it was Mvita. That's why we have a constituency called Mvita. It is even said that a Mzungu, once again, a Mzungu saw Kirinyaga, the mountain of ostrich. You know, the mountain people believe that God reared, instead of God rearing chicken, he reared ostrich. That is why it's called Mwenenyaga. So these people, Mukamba, it was a Mukamba who was asked by a Mzungu, hiyo kilima inaitwaje? Of course with the Kizungu accent. And then Mukamba was a bit confused, so he wanted to say, ile mulima, that mountain. He said, Kilimakeya. Mzungu thought he said Kilima Kenya, but otherwise the mountain is called Kirinyaga. On a similar state, also people believe that it is a Mzungu who named Garissa, Garissa, Garissa. Remember Garissa, it's two words, Gari and Isa. Gari Isa. And I said Gari is a Kenyan, one of the two, one of the two Kenyan names that is given to a vehicle. You'll find one tribe or one language calling it Gari and another one calling it Motoka. So you'll find that Garissa derives part of its name from the word Gari, the vehicle. Then there is the word Isa. I stayed in Garissa in the 70s. No, I stayed in Wajeer in the 70s. I stayed in Wajeer the 80s, and I stayed in Mandera the 90s. If you put all the time together, that is 20 something years, but not continuously. Not continuously. So one thing I noticed during those days, and I don't know whether our Somalis still have that habit today, is that you are parking your vehicle at Uhuru Park facing the east. Once you want to take off, a Somali will come and ask for a lift. Ask for a lift. And now you see it facing east. So you tell him, I'm sorry, I am not going to Machakos. I am going to Naivasha. He will tell you, actually it is Naivasha I was going. But you see, the truth is, he was neither going to Naivasha nor Machakos, but since he found a vehicle there, he was asking for a free lift. So you'd take him to Naivasha and drop him. And once you stop your vehicle in Naivasha, he's the first one to alight. Those days it used to be Land Rovers. So he's at the back, and you just stop your vehicle, he alights and says, Asante, and goes. You will go away feeling guilty that how will he walk all the way from Naivasha back to Uhuru Park. But to him, mission accomplished. Or vice versa. Your vehicle at Uhuru Park could be facing the west, and he would come and say, ask for a lift. And you'll tell him, I'm not going to Naivasha, I'm going to Machakos. He say, that is where I was going. And it so happened the same. They used to ask for lifts those days. And how does he ask for a lift? He asks by saying, is there space in your vehicle? Something like that. So in Kisomali, asking, is there space in your vehicle? Kuna nafasi kwa gari yako? They say, Gar Isa. Gar Isa. Vehicle space. Vehicle space. Say no space. Or vehicle space, there is space. So they say, Gari Isa. So he bought the vehicle, goes. So Mzungu, it is said, just like I said in Mombasa, I said it is in Kirinyaga and so on. Mzungu came. As he stopped the vehicle, he was on the right side of the vehicle. And Africans were not allowed to stay in the cabin in a vehicle with the Mzungu, unless, of course, you are the driver. So the warrior came, saw Mzungu. Mzungu asked warrior, what is hapa panaitwaje? And the warrior had asked the Mzungu a counter question. Gar Isa. Vehicle, space. Mzungu said, yeah, Gar Isa. He was trying to cram that so that when he reaches home, he can write down Garissa. The warrior now went round. He went to the back of the Land Rover to try and board, and he saw the Mzungu taking off. So he was confused. The fellow has told me there is space in the vehicle and he has taken off. That is allegedly how Garissa got its name. Now we go to Wajeer. We go to Wajeer. Wajeer, we spell it as Wajir, Wajeer. That is not how the local pronounce it. The local pronounce it as Wajeer, Wajeer. The way they pronounce it is Wajer, Wajeer. We who are people who speak many languages, whenever we translate anything, we try, we linguistics, whenever we are translating things, we try as much as possible to look for one magic word that means that something. Like in Lingala, people say boma is killing. No, boma is kuangamiza in Kiswahili, or in English it's eliminate. So linguistics, we try to look for one single name that translates in all aspects, because when you talk of boma and it is eliminate also includes killing, isn't it? But you'll find over 80% of Kenyans who speak Lingala, they'll tell you boma means killing. No, it is eliminating. So as I said, linguistics, we try to look for one single word that as much as possible takes all things into consideration. Now, Wajir or Wajir, we spell it as Wajir writing, but people from outside Northeastern, we pronounce it as Wajia, Wajia, Wajia. I don't know how that came about, because you find somebody saying, na Wajia bado kuna vumbi or something like that. We pronounce it that way. But the Mzungu wrote down as Wajir, Wajir. But the locals, the Somalis and Boranas, pronounce it as Wajeer, Wajeer, Wajeer. And if I have to look for one single word to describe Wajir or Wajeer, I would say it is congregation. Congregation. Yeah. Because you'll find, you ask any warrior, depending, or anybody who's good in the language, he or she will describe, say, whatever, oh, baraza la watu, oh, mkusanyiko la watu, sijui nini. To me, if I have to translate Wajer into English, it is congregation. In Kikuyu, I'll come to Kikuyu later, but in Kiswahili, Wajer is mkusanyiko. And in Kikuyu, the word I've remembered is moshamanio. In Luya, Obwihalo. Obwihalo. So, let me go to English. It is congregation. Congregation. That is what Wajir means. And how did it come to be called congregation? There is a few boreholes in Wajir, like this picture you see of Olale, on Orahei, not Olale, but Orahei. Orahei borehole. Even if there is the greatest, can I say, summer, you could find everywhere in Northeastern, most or even all the boreholes dry up. But a few boreholes in Wajir do not dry up. One of them is that Orahei, the one you have seen the picture. It never dries up. So you find that people, And also the water there, maybe it's, Wajir water is salty, but in that particular, people liked even water from that. So what they used to do, but usually the Orahi, what do you call, borehole or well, most people used to use in watering their livestock. I can tell you that a Somali, especially during those days, I don't know whether they have changed. Those days we even had cases where someone comes, is very thirsty at a well, he wants to drink water, and another one tells him, no, I came ahead of you, I have to water my livestock. And there were even cases of killing. This fellow who is one kills the other. So among the Somalis, especially during those days, when you are fast to reach there, you'd just take as much water as you want and then leave, and then the next person. So in that time, you could congregate there, mix, sharing ideas or whatever. That was the place that you could congregate. That is the place where you could Wajeer. Now you know the meaning of Garissa and Wajeer. Thank you.